Hey dolls, welcome back to my channel. I forgot to film the intro to this video because I was in a rush on the way to my gig because I'm a working girl, but I'm here giving you an intro. I'm not just gonna upload it with no intro because I am professional. Anyways, if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name's Will. I'm a makeup artist, drag queen, a beauty expert, all that jazz. Make sure to find me on Instagram and follow me where I post almost daily, sometimes 2 times a day. It gets crazy. And if you aren't subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe. I love comments, I love thumbs up, I love attention, so give it to me. Anyways, in this video, I really wanted to do an updated drag makeup tutorial. I've been doing drag a lot more recently. I'm actually like a professional drag queen now. I get paid to host gigs. I have a ton of drag videos already up on my channel, but obviously with time you get better and better. So I wanted to show you guys where I'm at now, some new things I've learned. And yeah, so if you guys want to learn how to turn yourself into a lady and look like this, then keep on watching. Alrighty dolls, so the first thing you want to do is glue down your eyebrows if that's what you want to do. You don't necessarily have to glue down your eyebrows, but it really feminizes the face when you lift up those brows. Remember, everything about drag is like super exaggerated, so giving yourself that extra like fierce, bold, high, cunty brow will really kind of like boost you up to the next level, but not everyone does it. Sometimes I conceal, sometimes I don't. I actually only conceal about like this half. So I'm gonna start gluing it down, but I'm gonna do the rest of it off camera just because like eyebrows for drag are their own beast. If you guys want a detailed eyebrow conceal and drawing on and all that kind of stuff, like a detailed drag eyebrow tutorial, comment below and let me know, and I'll totally do that. But I'm just gonna glue it down off camera, draw them on, and we'll just start with the eyes. Alright. So as you can see, my brows are concealed and redrawn on, so now we're going to move on to eyeshadow. So to make this really easy, I use tape. You know, I know how to do the liner, but I just like am a working girl and I need to make this quick, and I can't spend 5 hours on my makeup. Like, it needs to be less than 2, so I do the tape to save myself some time. We're going to start off with a matte crease shade. You just kind of need to sculpt out a new eye shape. So I'm going to take my Morphe 39A palette, and I'm just going to use various matte transition tones in my crease to create depth. I'm going to first take these 3 lightest shades and just run them through my crease. You just really gotta, I mean, the thing about drag makeup, I can tell you, is it's like a relationship. A very long-term relationship, girl. It's just, you know, everyone has a way of doing their makeup. So this is just me showing you guys how I do my drag makeup. And I learned how to do my drag makeup by watching a million tutorials and seeing how other people did theirs, to kind of just pick all the aspects that I liked and include them in my regimen. And now I have something that works for me, that's quick. It used to take me like 5 hours start to finish, from like when I started shaving to like when I was fully a woman. And I can't do that. I do drag every Tuesday now. I host a trivia show at Troop 429 in Norwalk, Connecticut, and it's great. But homegirl just doesn't have the time, you know? I do a million other things. So this is my base for my transition tones and my crease. So now I'm going to move into these darker tones, and I'm going to move to a shorter, denser brush. So just so you can tell, I was just using this one right here, the black one, and that's longer and fluffier for a more transitional soft tone. And then this other one, this one, is shorter and denser, so it applies the color more like intensely. So now I'm going to be taking this and applying it towards the base of my crease. So I'm not blending this as far up as the other ones. So I'm taking these 2 transitional tones that I showed you, the darker ones. And then I'm going to go to these really dark browns, specifically this one, but these as well. This is like my favorite palette, because it just has so many good matte browns. And the big pan transitional tones are everything. So now this is even lower, really almost on my lid, honestly, because we're going to be cutting it with concealer later. So you don't have to be so precise about like what eyeshadows are on your eyelid at the moment. So here we are now. I'm going to take like the littlest amount of black, and this is one of the best black shadows ever. And just like the littlest amount, I'm going to mix it with a little of that brown. And just really make sure that crease is nice and dark. So now we're ready to cut the crease. So I'm going to be using my BH Cosmetics Pro Full Coverage Concealer. The reason why I use this concealer is because it dries down on its own. It doesn't need a powder to be set. I just find that it works better with the crease. You can let it dry and then put your shadows over. If you use something that doesn't set on its own, when you go to put the shadow over, you might disrupt it and your crease isn't as like sharp. So I just don't mess around. I like this. I also like MAC Select Cover Up Concealer. Ones that just dry on their own, just makes it a little bit easier. And then I just like to take a nice round brush. And I don't cut the whole lid, I do about like 2/3, so. And I bring it above my natural crease. That is the easiest way to cut the crease. When I figured out about this, like I jumped on the concealer crease cutter bandwagon, changed my life. I used to sit there like drawing the crease and like blending it up, and it was just like, no, girl, I can't. Okay, so this is where I'm at. So now, I have my puppy. I have my puppy. No, I need to become a lady. I just need a little more color here in my life. So I'm actually gonna take a pigment from MAC. This is the shade Kitschmas. And I'm gonna take it on my brush and I'm gonna spritz it. You can use anything, water, your spit. I like my brushes all the time. This is just like a CoverGirl setting spray I had next to me, and that's what I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna spray it and then there we go. Okay, so yes, I am gonna do glitter. I just like can't not. But this is a really pretty pigment on its own. But for glitter, I'm gonna take my NYX Glitter Primer. That's what it's called, yeah. NYX Glitter Primer and then my MAC 3D Pink Glitter. And what I do for glitter is I take the primer on my hand, or the back of my hand, and then I just take a little detail brush, and I am not putting this all over the lid because we're doing liquid liner. I just don't like to mess with it. I mean, you can totally like slap glitter all over your lid and do liner, but trust me when I tell you it's such a pain in the ass to put liner over glitter because of the texture. So what I do is I'm applying this just like along the crease. Like I'm not coming further down than like here. The reason why I do it just here is because it helps kind of like define the crease a little more. And it's not as messy and it's easier to wash off. Like I said, I'm practical. I'm taking my NYX Matte Liquid Liner. It's my favorite eyeliner and it's like $5. And I like to make my liner really big when I do drag. Okay, so this is my liner. I'm gonna show you why we do the tape. You're like done. Now you're done with shadows on your top. Like you don't have to go there anymore unless you want to be nitpicky. I feel kind of weird doing my makeup in front of the camera, not gonna lie. And it's not because I haven't done a video in so long, it's because I always have Keeping Up with the Kardashians on in the other room in the background, and I've seen every episode so many times that like I can visualize what's happening on the screen just by hearing them. Some might say I have a problem, I think it's a gift. So bitch, before you get on the face, make sure you prime and prep because this shit is heavy and it'll show everything that's wrong with your skin unless you prep it properly. So I'm just gonna, I've already done a bunch of stuff, but for the principle of the thing, I'm going to take my Basha Tsubaki Swirl Moisturizer. My favorite moisturizer. You know what, before I do that, I'm just going to finesse my brow bone. This is MAC Shivering White Studio Fix, so it's a face powder, but in white, so it has like the coverage of a face powder. Like, Studio Fix has amazing coverage, but it's white, so I love using it for drag because you can use it on your brows to help hide those brow hairs a little more. You can use it to highlight, it's everything. So, now that we're nice and prepped and primed, you need, oh, for fuck's sake, there's glitter everywhere. So I don't struggle too much with 5 o'clock shadow, but I like to be sure that it's not gonna show through. So you gotta do some color correction, especially if you have a really thick, dark beard. So what you need to do is find a color to counteract the tones. So use orange or red. If you have really dark hair, maybe try like red. And you can use a lipstick. I used an orange lipstick forever, but I love my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Corrector Orange, or Orange Corrector. And I just get it all over, just a couple lines, like so. It doesn't need to be perfect. And then, before I put my foundation on, I'm gonna set it with just like a little loose powder. The reason why I do this is because if you just like were to go right on with your foundation, then it would just mix with the orange, and then you've defeated the whole thing, and you just have orange foundation. So by just using like a little loose powder to like just create a little barrier, now you can just go on and do everything as normal. So to start off, I'm gonna take 2 of the fullest coverage foundations I own, Kryolan TV Paint Stick and Becca Full Coverage Concealer. I also go in with a little MAC Full Coverage, and I use different shades to kind of get my perfect thing, but this Kryolan is no joke, bitch. That's that. And then we're gonna take some Becca. Honestly, this stuff is crazy. And this is more yellow. More MAC Full Coverage. This is in the shade NC20, so this is really too dark for me. But with everything else, it just works perfectly. Then start by blending with a brush. That's at least what I do. I like to start with a brush because if you go right in with a sponge, it's just not gonna be, it's gonna soak up so much and your sponge gets so dirty. So I just kind of like get it mostly blended. So now that it's more in there, it's like more on your skin, your sponge isn't gonna soak all of it up. So there we are, foundation is on. For concealer, I love the Tarte Shape Tape, and then I take a little of this light lavender concealer. So I take Shape Tape and I just put it in all of the normal places where I would conceal. And if you're wondering why we don't have lashes on yet, that's because we don't want to put them on before we powder, because I use so much powder for drag that it gets all over the lashes and it's just not cute. It's better just... And the reason why I take the lavender isn't for color correction, it's because it's so light, it's almost white. So just by adding a little bit of that, it adds such a beautiful like brightness and intensity under the eyes. Now that our concealer and stuff is on, I'm going to move on to just a liquid contour. Liquid or cream. I'm using my same LA Girl Pro Conceal, but in the shade Beautifully Bronze, or Beautiful Bronze. And I just use this as a base for contouring. It just makes it easier later. You don't have to use so much powder and sit there carving it out. You don't have to be super precise, but, you know. Think about how you want your face to look and what you need to minimize. For me, it's my forehead and jaw. So those are the 2 things I focus on. And I don't go right in with a sponge again. I don't know, I just like to start with a brush and finish with a sponge. I know it seems crazy to like use a brush, like a fluffy brush like this over wet foundation. But you know what? It works so well. Okay, and then I just go with my sponge and I just make sure we're all blended, no harsh lines. My current favorite loose powder is the Maybelline Fit Me loose powder, and I'm just gonna take a whole bunch in that cap. Bitch, this is where it gets messy. And then I'm gonna take a velour puff. You can use a sponge, but I just find it makes the sponge so gross, so I like to use a puff. And I am gonna pack that under my eye, and then I carve out my contour. And the reason why I do this is because now that this is set, you can just go in and contour and you don't have to be precise about it. It's just not gonna fuck up the areas where you set already. I'm gonna take my bronzer, not my contour, and it's the Hoola Benefit Bronzer. I just take a whole bunch on my brush and I apply it directly onto that wet contour we did. It's not set yet. I didn't set the contour areas with powder. Think of setting your contour areas with like a corresponding, this is like a corresponding setting powder. But all it's doing is it's continuing the contour process. So basically anywhere I just didn't touch with that loose powder, I'm applying this, and look, I'm applying it, I'm blending it, but it's not pulling the contour down. It's just leaving it right there. So I have that. And then I'm gonna take an angled contour brush and my Morphe 12C palette, brain fart, and just take a cooler toned color. I just kind of mix whatever works. And contour. And this makes contouring like you're pretty much done before you start. This is where we're at, contoured. And then I'm gonna blush really quick. Blush is like so whatever, I don't care. I'm just gonna take Pinch Me from MAC. Put like a ton on, don't worry. And then I always run a little up there. So there is that. And then I'm gonna take a little bit more loose powder. And this will help, you know, make the blush not crazy. But pack it under the eye because now we are gonna finish our eyes. So, what I like to do is just take the same brush I had before. I just take the same corresponding shadows. So I'm just like taking the same shadows. You don't have to be precise. Then I'm gonna take a white eyeliner for my waterline. This is just Fascinating Eye Kohl by MAC. Hit that waterline. And then I bring it down here. So you kind of are opening up that area of the eye. Then I go into that MAC Shivering White, the really white eye powder. And I just like really pack it right under here. Then I'm gonna take that black eyeshadow we used and start at the liner and draw right below my lash, like on my natural lash line. And then when we get to the white area, I'm pulling it down. And then I just kind of blend that out. And if you screw up the white, it doesn't matter, we can fix it. A lash is gonna be covering most of this, so it doesn't really matter. And then I'm gonna take my NYX white liquid liner and just, there you go. So for my lashes, I'm gonna start off with the top. I have 2 pairs of 301 lashes. I mean, you can go ahead and buy a bunch from CVS and stack like 8 pairs, but with 1 or 2 pairs of these, you're good. You're fine. Like, you don't need a lot. They're so long. And then for the bottoms, I just use old ones from like my boy looks. These are just Ardell. But first, I'm just gonna apply some mascara quickly. And then with a drag lash, I don't do it all along the natural lash line. Towards the outer corner. In the inner corner, I keep it right along the lash line. In the outer corner, I always pull it up a little bit for a little extra drama. See, like, I don't even need another lash. It's crazy. Wearing like 5 pairs of stacked lashes is so uncomfortable, and my eyes are like sensitive as it is, so being able to wear like 1 thin pair of lash is amazing. Next, I just like to place some rhinestones. So what I do is I get the tip of this sticky, 1 dot of duo here, and then on the other side, and then at my inner corner. So now we're done with the eyes, done completely. So all we have to do now is highlighting and lips. So let's highlight for the goods. Oh, I forgot about my nose. I'm like running out of time. So for the nose, I just take some of my TV paint stick, blend out the edges ever so slightly. For highlighter today, I'm gonna use two of my favorites from OFRA Cosmetics. First, I'm gonna take the OFRA Cosmetics collab with NikkieTutorials. It's called Everglow, and I'm gonna take the white shade, and I'm gonna build it up on my Morphe M501 brush. And like, this is cute and all, but I need my glow to be the next level. So I'm taking my literal favorite highlighting product of all time. This is my OFRA Cosmetics Mineral Highlighter in the shade White Diamond. Do you see how gorgeous this is? So I tap this out. It's literally white pixie dust. And you need like nothing. So I take it on my brush. Actually, before I take it on my brush, I take setting spray. I douse my face and then I build it up on my brush. And then I tap it and then blend, and look at that. And that finishes all the highlighting. It's amazing. For my lips, I'm gonna take my Gerard Cosmetics lipstick in All Dolled Up. And I'm first going to apply it all over my lips to get the general shape. It's just easier to like draw a symmetrical shape when you have a block of color as opposed to like just doing the outline, at least for me. And then I'm gonna go in with my MAC lip pencil in the shade Soar. This just grounds that pink a little bit, but I go back over with the pink. So I'm just cleaning up with a little concealer. And then for gloss, I'm using my Gerard Cosmetics Color Your Style Lip Gloss in the shade Fiji. This comes with a mirror and a little light up lip gloss wand. Alright, and that is gonna finish up the makeup. I'm gonna run and get dressed up like a woman, and I'll be right back. Alrighty doll, so that is gonna finish up this look. This is how I look in drag. This is pretty much how I like look every week. I'm loving this vibe I'm giving, a little Stevie Nicks, I got a turban. I'm feeling very cute and just like me, like this is my aesthetic. If you don't know, my drag name is Bridget London and I have a drag queen Instagram dedicated to her. It's at Bridget London. So totally follow her. Follow Willdoughty, subscribe to this channel. I really hope you guys liked this video. I had a lot of fun creating it. I hadn't made like a start to finish drag video in a long time, so I was really excited to make this for you. Again, if you liked it, make sure to give me a thumbs up. Any comments, questions, or video suggestions can be left in the comment box below. Like I said already, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!